So what's the theme of this story?
The devoted friend.
Okay, page 6. What did the old water rat look like?
He had bright eyes and stiff whiskers, and his tail was like a long bit of black rubber.
What does he think the noblest thing in the world?
He thinks there is nothing in the world nobler than a devoted friendship.
Right, so he thinks a devoted friendship is the noblest thing in the world, right?
Yes.
Who stars the story of the devoted friend?
A green linnet started the story.
Page 8. What is the name of the honest little fellow?
His name was Hans.
Was he distinguished?
No, except for his kind heart.
Where did Hans live?
He lived in a cottage by himself and worked diligently in his garden.
Who was the most devoted friend of Hans?
His most devoted friend was Hugh the miller.
Did Miller give Hans anything in return?
No,
No, he didn't. Even though what?
even he plucking a bucket of flowers for himself.
So he didn't, even though he was a very wealthy man.
Yes.
Huh? Was Hans ever troubled by this?
No,
No, he never was. How was the winter for Hans?
he had no flowers to bring to market, and he suffered from cold and hunger. And in the winter too, he was lonely, for the miller never visited.
Okay, page 10. Did Miller visit Hans when the spring arrived?
Yes,
With what?
with a big basket.
What will Hans buy back with the money he gets when he sells his primroses?
He will buy silver buttons, silver chain, and his wheelbarrow. He will buy them back again soon.
What did Hans do during the winter to get some money for bread?
He sold the silver buttons of his coat, then his silver chain, and at last his wheelbarrow.
Okay, so 앞에 질문에서 그래서 이제 한스는 what will Hans buy back with the money he gets when he sells his primroses?
He will buy them back again soon.
So what? What is he going to buy?
His silver buttons, his silver chain,
그걸 살 거라고?
and his wheelbarrow.
그거 다 팔았다는 거잖아요. 그거는. 그 얘기는 팔았다는 거고. 이제 봄이 돼가지고 primroses를 팔 거라 했잖아.
네.
그래서 what will Hans buy back with the money he gets when he sells his primroses?
그러니까 돈 벌어서 뭘 살 거냐. 이것들 다시 산다고 얘기했는데.
아니, 그 특별히 지금 뭘 살 거라는 거야?
wheelbarrow.
그걸 다시 살 거라고? 실버 버튼 이런 거 다시 살 거라고?
네, 여기서 But I will buy them back again soon이라 나와 있어요.
그러니까 그 중에 지금 뭘 특별히 얘기했잖아.
wheelbarrow.
그렇지. wheelbarrow. So what does Miller offer?
He offered he will give Hans his wheelbarrow.
Right. Okay, page 12. What did Miller want to return?
He take plank by back.
He wanted the plank and all the flowers of Hans.
Yes.
What did Miller ask Hans to do next day?
He said, would you mind carrying the sack of flour to market for me?
Okay, so he asked Hans to carry a large sack of flour to the market. Did Hans do what Miller asked?
Yes.
So what did he do?
So he trudged off with a big sack on his shoulders, and he walked 6 miles before sitting down to rest. And when he reached the market, he sold the sack of flour for a good price.
Did he rest after that?
Yes, he walked 6 miles before sitting down to rest.
After that. Did he rest after that?
No, he returned home immediately, for he was afraid that if he rested again, he might miss some robbers in the darkness.
Right. Page 14. What was Hans doing when Miller came to get the money in the morning?
He was still in bed.
Okay. What did Miller ask Hans to do this time?
He asked Hans to mend his roof today.
How long did it take for Hans to mend Miller's roof?
Little Hans worked on the barn until sunset when the miller came to check his progress.
What worried Hans all the time?
He worried that his flowers would think he had forgotten them, but he consoled himself with the knowledge that the miller was his friend.
그 특별히 염려한 게 있었지 지금? 어떤 거 염려했어? 걱정을 했어? 가이든 일과 관련해서? He didn't do something.
He didn't water the flowers.
For he had not
watered his flowers for 2 days.
What else did Miller ask Hans to do?
He asked Hans to drive his sheep to the mountain. And the miller sent him on another errand and another.
Okay, page 16. What did Miller ask this time?
He said Hans to go to doctor instead of him.
Why?
Because he is giving Hans his wheelbarrow.
Okay, so what is the reason?
Because his son has fallen off a ladder and hurt himself.
Okay, did Miller lend this lantern to Hans?
No, he didn't.
Why? Why not?
Because it is new lantern.
How was the weather that night?
The wind was terribly strong, the wind was terribly strong.
What happened to Hans after he got the door?
Pardon?
What happened to Hans after he got the door?
With no lamp, Hans could hardly see.
그래서 결국은 what happened to him?
Hans drowned.
그러니까 첫 번째는 길을
He lost his way and wandered off into the moor, a dangerous place full of deep holes, and there Hans drowned.
Okay, so who found his body?
His body was found the next day by some shepherds, and
Page 18. Did many people come to the funeral?
Yes, many people come to the funeral because Hans was a very good friend.
What did Miller complain about?
He is complaining about a wheelbarrow.
Right? What happened to Miller afterward?
I don't know.
Okay, so nobody knows, right?
Yes.